Get ready for breaking news. 1911 Gold Corporation has just released incredible assay results from their underground resource expansion drill program at the True North Gold Project. Sean Heinrichs, president and CEO, is thrilled because the latest drilling on the L10 Zone has confirmed extensions of the mineralized veins, intersecting significant gold mineralization, up to 11.54 grams per ton gold over 3.7 meters. This discovery suggests a potential link between the L10 zone and the 710-711 zone, opening up massive new resource potential for the True North mine. We dive into the details of these exciting findings right now. While they have initiated an open-label phase 2 clinical trial for ibizapolstat to test its treatment and relapse prevention capabilities for C. difficile infection. This development comes as the company continues to expand its patent estate for DNA polymerase IIIC inhibitors, keeping a close watch on the path to phase 3 trials. Finally, we turn to the NHL draft as the New York Rangers face a crucial decision at the number 5 pick. Insider reports suggest that prospect Caleb Malhotra is swiftly rising up the draft boards, with NHL's central scouting director Dan Marr calling him one of the biggest risers in the 2026 class. We look at the intense speculation surrounding whether the Rangers should target Malhotra or perhaps pivot toward a defenseman like Braden Schneider to reshape their future. Stay with us to see how this draft decision could change everything for the Blue Shirts. 1911 Gold Corporation has released significant assay results from its underground resource expansion drill program at the True North Gold Project in southeast Manitoba, Canada, confirming extensions of the L10 zone. The latest data from 12 drill holes, spanning 3,608 meters in the L10 zone, revealed gold grades reaching up to 11.54 grams per ton, GT, of gold over a length of 3.7 meters. The drilling targeted areas adjacent to level 16 of the True North mine, aiming to extend mineralized veins beyond the 2024 Mineral Resource Estimate, MRE. Company president and CEO, Sean Heinrichs, expressed excitement over the early success, noting that the results suggest a potential link between the L10 zone and the 710-711 zone, outlining a new area with potential for meaningful resource addition and extension of the mine life. Key drilling highlights include several intercepts confirming the downplunge extensions of key veins. Specifically, drill hole UG 1626055 confirmed the extension of the V1010 vein, intersecting 5.48 GT over 9.2 meters, with high-grade inclusions up to 14.8 GT over 1 meter. Furthermore, drill holes testing the V1020 vein confirmed an extension of 160 meters below the 2024 MRE, with intercepts yielding grades such as 8.1 GT over 1.4 meters. The results indicate that the L10 zone, situated at the intersection of the shoreline basalt unit and the L10 shear zone, hosts mineralized veins, including V1010, V1012, V1020, V1030, and V1040. The confirmed continuity between the L10 and 710-711 vein systems is a robust target for future resource expansion. The company is currently operating 2 underground drill rigs on level 16, with a third rig scheduled to mobilize soon to support infill and delineation drilling. The program is also targeting new near-mine targets and extensions of surface targets, including the San Antonio Mine West, SAM-W, San Antonio Mine Southeast, SAM-SE, and shore targets. These encouraging results will support a global resource update anticipated later in the year. The ongoing exploration programs continue to test new targets, with plans for additional drilling to define the geometry of new parallel mineralized veins and further explore the Hinge Zone and 7 Zone. Additional underground and surface results are expected as the programs progress. D-Wave Quantum Inc. released mixed financial results for the first quarter of 2026, signaling a strategic pivot toward securing long-term contracted growth over immediate revenue generation. The company reported revenue of $2.9 million, representing an 81% decline from $15 million the previous year, a drop attributed to a significant one-time system sale included in prior performance. However, commercial traction demonstrated significant acceleration. Bookings surged dramatically to $33.4 million, marking a 1,994% year-over-year increase, while remaining performance obligations rose by 563% to $42.4 million. Key drivers for this growth included the closing of a $20 million system sale to Florida Atlantic University and securing a 2-year quantum computing as a service, QCAS, agreement valued at $10 million with a Fortune 100 company. The strategic shift came with the completion of the acquisition of Quantum Circuits, which introduced a superconducting gate model platform. This expansion drove GAAP operating expenses to $56.5 million, widening the net loss to $18.4 million and the adjusted EBITDA loss to $32.8 million. The company incurred substantial investment, with $252.1 million in acquisition-related cash outflows. Despite these costs, D-Wave maintained strong liquidity, with cash and marketable securities reaching $588.4 million as of March 31, 2026, a 93% increase year-over-year. This robust cash position is crucial for supporting the ambitious dual-platform roadmap, emphasizing long-term commercialization over short-term earnings. Noi Dung Kai Tite, Acurx Pharmaceuticals, Inc., NASDAQ, ACXB, has released its first quarter 2026 financial results and provided a significant operational update, focusing heavily on its lead antibiotic candidate, ibezapolstat, for treating C. difficile infection, CDI. The company reported a narrowing net loss, with the net loss for the quarter ending March 31, 2026, coming in at $1.7 million, down from $2.1 million in the prior year, resulting in a loss per diluted share of 62 cents. Cash position improved to $9.3 million, bolstered by approximately $3.1 million raised through the equity line of credit. Research and development expenses decreased to $0.3 million, primarily due to reductions in manufacturing and consulting costs related to prior trial preparation. General and administrative expenses also saw a slight reduction. /N operationally, Acurx is aggressively advancing ibezapolstat. The company has initiated an open-label, real-world C. difficile infection, RCDI trial, and is preparing for subsequent Phase 3 acute CDI studies. Ibezapolstat is positioned as a potential paradigm shift in CDI treatment, aiming to provide a single therapy for both initial infection and recurrent episodes. The drug is a novel, orally administered antibiotic belonging to a new class of DNA polymerase IIIC inhibitors, which is the first of its kind developed by Acurx. /N crucially, Acurx has secured final agreement from both the FDA and EMA for its pivotal Phase 3 trials for ibezapolstat in CDI, confirming the study design, patient population, and endpoints. Furthermore, the company has established a clear international roadmap for conducting these Phase 3 programs and plans to pursue U.S. New Drug Application, NDA, and EU marketing authorization following success. Ibezapolstat previously received FDA designation as a qualified infectious disease product, QIDP, for CDI treatment and a fast-track designation. /N/N, the company is also strengthening its intellectual property, expanding its global DNA polymerase IIIC patent estate with new grants in the United States and Korea. The company maintains an effective Form S-3 shelf dated July 9, 2025, allowing for the issuance of up to $50 million in securities over 3 years. /N/N, despite the positive operational progress and narrowing losses, the stock experienced a notable negative market reaction, declining 5.07% following the announcement. Analysts note a recurring pattern where earnings updates, even with constructive operational milestones, have historically been followed by negative post-earnings moves. Investors will be closely monitoring future financing activities under the existing equity shelf, progress through the clinical trial phases for ibezapolstat, and the durability of the drug's reported efficacy rates. The New York Rangers are facing a critical juncture in their NHL draft strategy, especially concerning their potential number 5 selection. Following a disappointing performance in the NHL draft lottery, the team president, Chris Drury, is under pressure to secure a top-tier prospect to salvage the rebuilding efforts. Experts suggest that securing a top 3 forward, such as dynamic wingers Gavin McKenna or Ivar Stenberg, or rising center Caleb Malhotra, would simplify their path forward. A top 4 pick would also offer a clearer decision, likely focusing on securing the top defenseman available. The selection at number 5 is expected to be highly contested, suggesting that the onus falls heavily on team president Drury, director of amateur scouting John Lilly, and the scouting staff to conduct exhaustive analysis and execute a precise selection. The Rangers have a documented history of poor draft choices, including 5 consecutive lottery picks from 2017-20, one that failed to meet expectations. However, recent changes in personnel, including the replacement of director Jed Ortmeyer with Tanner Glass, and Drury's increased trust in Lilly's staff, signal a shift in focus toward player development. Caleb Malhotra has emerged as a significant prospect. NHL Central Scouting Director Dan Marr recently highlighted Malhotra's potential, noting that the player could be one of the biggest risers in the 2026 NHL draft class, pointing to his character and game sense. Multiple league sources are also suggesting Malhotra could be a top 3 pick, with one agent even suggesting he might be overlooked by Vancouver at number 3. Meanwhile, the defenseman pool at number 5 presents a different set of considerations. Chase Reed is ranked highly by prospect writers, though consensus on him as the outright number 1 is divided. Other top defense prospects include Keaton Verhoef, considered the best defenseman in his class entering the season, and Albert Smits, who is deemed highly pro-ready. The decision between these players hinges on factors like handedness and projected NHL impact. Beyond the immediate prospects, the conversation is also turning to alternative centers like Viggo Björk and Tynan Lawrence. While Björk possesses elite skill, the Rangers' preference for size may make him less appealing. Lawrence, despite some growing pains, is viewed as a viable option if the team prioritizes adding center depth. The Rangers' current situation demands conviction. With a top 5 pick, the opportunity exists to rebuild fan trust, but the outcome will depend on whether the organization can identify and secure the right talent amid intense competition from other NHL teams, particularly the San Jose Sharks, who are also keenly eyeing top-tier prospects like Stenberg and Malhotra.